I did the love spell on this boy at my school. It actually worked. I suppose it's my house, which holds all of these different parts of what my world is inside, internal world and external world. I don't really drink, so I'm not a pub person, but I've been to the Eagle in Clerkenwell for dinner and the food is really amazing there. And I like it because it's relaxed. It's not like you have to dress up, you can just be, well, I thought you can just be relaxed, and the food was amazing, so probably there, the Eagle. The first thing I do when I get back to London, I suppose usually I just call everyone that I haven't seen for a couple of months and see what everyone's doing, and then try to meet, go for a walk, and usually go to the steam room just to get rid of the tired feeling. My earliest London memory is probably going to Camden Market with my mum, and I remember she bought this amethyst, like purple amethyst choker necklace, and I would always ask to borrow it. I think I was probably like 5 or 6 when we went, but I'd always ask to borrow the choker, but it was like her special sort of item that I couldn't wear, obviously, as a child. And then I remember, I don't know if it was the same day, but I remember going to Covent Garden and there was this spell shop. I bought a love spell and then I did the love spell on this boy at my school. And I think it worked, it actually worked, so yeah. The last gig that I actually went to was a Little Sims concert in Paris, but then the last gig I went to in London was a night called Jazz Refreshed, and my friend Lorenz did this improv synthesizer set there, and I kind of just realised with other people in the room, like we just shared this look, a sense that this is a really important form of expression, and to go to a show where someone is totally improvising, no rehearsal is not really something that you experience very often, and it feels really important. And I suppose it's a reflection of maybe the way that people feel quite held back in themselves in the world, and so that this means to express yourself totally freely feels really important. And yeah, that was quite a life-affirming moment to be at this gig, I suppose, yeah. Which shops do I rely on? Fig and Grains on Broadway Market is where I get all my food shopping. I suppose good ingredients is really important. But then for clothing, really, any little vintage market that pops up, still go to Portobello a lot. Vintage archives, there's a lot of archives in London that I go to and either rent pieces or buy pieces. So I'm always messaging those people and looking and seeing like what have they got. Best date spot, I suppose, because I like to be quite private about these things. I just usually invite the person round to my house for a cup of tea. Code tea, yeah. Spontaneity is important, but also casual, you know, not like sitting opposite each other at a restaurant. It's just too formal. If I was the Mayor of London, really and truly at this moment in time, I'd probably shut down all the major institutions and let people just have a moment of freedom without having to exist within kind of like these pillars that we have got so used to having to conform in, and probably just have a moment of truthful freedom of expression. And I don't know what that means. Maybe people lose their heads and go out in the streets and go mad. I don't know. I would say my favourite Londoner is probably the Tube. If you're late, it's almost, I don't know how it manages to do it, but sometimes I'll have left 10 minutes before I'm meant to be somewhere and somehow miraculously make it on time by getting on the Tube. So I think that the Tube is my favourite Londoner, I think, yeah, personified. If I actually was going to get given wherever I wanted to live, maybe I would try to get some massive house in Holland Park. Actually, the Cosmic House. No, I don't want to take the Cosmic House, but there's this house in Holland Park called the Cosmic House, which is amazing. And it's kind of this 1970s postmodern interior design house. I actually love that house, but I wouldn't want to live in it because I think everyone else has to be able to see it and visit it as a museum. But maybe if I got to have any house, it would just be like one of those beautiful houses in Holland Park with nice big open windows and air and sunlight and everything, yeah. Once my friends took me to this restaurant called The Academy, which is above Andrew Edmonds, and that was really good. That was really good, and it was just quite simple food like fish and vegetables. And then I think they had a dessert which was like a rum bubba, which was like a spongy cake with rum and cream. But also I have some friends that are good at cooking, so a lot of my favourite meals are in people's homes, I suppose, yeah. Sometimes in my own home, yeah. It's funny because I suppose I always used to want to collaborate with people who had passed, because a lot of my favourite singers like Billie Holiday and Nina Simone, Esther Phillips, they were all kind of gone way before my time. But I think it's important to collaborate with somebody new. And I mean, I've always wanted to work with Tyler, the Creator, but I'm not sure if that will ever happen. Like, I bumped into him a couple of times, but I think he just thinks he's this lunatic girl and things like. And I'm always wearing the same thing when I bump into him. Ultimately, I'd like to collaborate with a rapper. I want to collaborate with like Lil Uzi, because I think that Lil Uzi is like a genius of our time. I really want to work with somebody that can change the way in which my voice is used in a sonic. They could even put effects on my voice or something like that. I don't really mind. John Glacier, probably Le Timpa, and trying to think who else. There was like this, Jovial, I think she's amazing. But they've been around for a long time, these people, and it's just that they're not existing necessarily at this moment in time in the mainstream, but they have their world and they have their fans that is very strong, kind of thing. So yeah, probably John Glacier, Le Timpa and Jovial. That's my favourite artist and sound right now.